Hello there, MTV. It's me, Mariah Carey, and welcome to my crib. So go ahead and follow me inside, and please, pardon the mess. It's everywhere. We're going to take care of that today, but yeah, I do know it's messy. It's a nice, cozy place. It works well, but it doesn't really work well for storage. But that's my house, so thanks for coming, and we can leave now. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to build the storage building, but first we have a stream recap to do. So in the last stream from this world, we went mining again. It was really good. There was a lot of F's in the chat in that stream, and 5 diamond ores found in the mines in that stream as well, which is really nice. Now, the only thing that we need is a fortune pickaxe, so we can do something with these diamond ores and the diamond ores that are over here too. But until fortune, we wait. We don't touch those at all. So yeah, at the end of the stream, we headed up to the mesa to get even more terracotta for today's big build. And that brings us to today's project. But if you're interested in the streams, they are every Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern, over on my Twitch. Down in the description is a link to my Twitch. You should definitely check it out, especially if you've been enjoying the series. So, storage building. If you saw last episode, we planned out the storage building. It was a really different episode, but I think it was a really fun episode. Definitely a necessary one. It's something that we've actually never done before. Right at the end of the episode, I talked about putting the storage building in that circle right behind me right now, where all of those acacia trees are. Well, in between episodes, I kind of thought about it, and that's really not a good placement. It's kind of not really central. This spot, though, is a lot more central when we're talking about the plains and what we're going to do with our base. So, we're going to move the storage building from over there to over here, and that's where we begin our adventure today. So, we do have a rough vision. I kind of know what I want to do with this build. We're going to start things off with 3 staircases right there. So we're going to do something different for the entrance, but for now we'll do the staircases to kind of symbolize a step up into the storage building. I think by creating a step up and raising the floor inside of this thing up 1 block, the building will feel even more grand. I mean, it's already going to be a tall building, but if we raise the floor up 1 more block, it gets even taller and even more fancy. So that means for now we'll go ahead and just throw a spruce log on the floor for now to symbolize the floor being raised up. Now, back on the outside of the build, I know that I want a stone brick base, so maybe we go up 2 more blocks past this first layer with stone bricks, but there's a catch. These stone bricks definitely shouldn't all be normal stone bricks. I think we need to head over to the vine farm and check things out because it's been a while since I checked it out. I checked it out at the beginning of the last stream and then nothing since then. We have a decent amount of vines. This might cut it if I harvest this up. I do have all of the vines planted successfully now, so yeah, let me go ahead and harvest this up and craft only one of the most beautiful blocks in the game that we absolutely need on our storage building. And the tall grass, I knew that was going to be a problem. I knew it. Alright, so what did that net us? We got 55 vines, but there's more in here, which is really good. 2 stacks of vines, that's definitely more than enough. Now, we are going to need to smelt a lot of things today. We're going to need a lot of glass, and I'd like to create more cracked stone bricks, so we're going to go ahead and just set up a basic furnace line right here in the beginning, and throughout the episode, I'll be filtering items in and out of these furnaces right here. At first, we're going to start with the stone bricks to turn them into cracked stone bricks, and then eventually, I'll probably cycle sand into these things, but I won't show it. I'll just kind of do it, so then whenever we need those things, it'll happen for us. So, 1 stack of mossy stone bricks, that should definitely do, and then a stack of cracked stone bricks as well. That should be more than good enough. Now, again, we're going to do something different on the entrance, but today we're not going to worry about it. I can spoil it a little bit, though. I'm considering doing some sort of redstone door entrance on this build, because we didn't really do them very much in the last season, and that's kind of sad, because they are really cool. So, that's going to be kind of the plan. You can expect a redstone episode somewhat soon. But for now, today, we're just going to skip the entrance. It'll be lame, I know, but trust me, the wait will be worth it. It'll be definitely the coolest entrance to a storage building that we've ever had. In the last season, we didn't even put a door on the storage building, and if I'm being honest, it caused a lot of anxiety, like a lot, because if I was ever doing anything at nighttime, like maybe even an outro, I was really paranoid. Like, I was really, really paranoid. I'm good at hiding things, though, so I bet you didn't even know. The more you know. Yeah, it made me really nervous, and we're not going to repeat that again this time, basically. It was bad. So, while I wait for the cracked stone bricks to smelt up, we're actually going to put a temporary floor inside of this building. I have a lot of birch slabs left over from the roofs that we initially did on the barn and on our starter house. I think we could put these to good use as a temporary flooring for now, because I really don't know entirely what I want to do as the real floor inside of this building this time, so this will be a great placeholder. We'll come back after and pull all of these out once we know what we actually want to do, but by putting this temporary floor in here, we'll be able to actually place some chests into place so we know really how tall we need this build to be. The build needs to be as tall as the 3 rows of chests that we want to do. So yeah, a temporary floor, basically that'll actually help us figure things out. Now, as a separate side note, I'm really, really happy for today's episode. Building a storage building is one of my favorite things to do in a Minecraft world. It's just, I don't know, the buildings usually end up looking really cool because item frames and chests, they just look really cool, and I don't know, these are just, usually these builds are my favorite builds, so I'm kind of in a good mood today, which is a really good thing, but we need a little bit more flooring. Well, you know what? It doesn't really matter, so we're just gonna do this for now. Hey, don't worry about it. I know it's not the best looking thing. By the way, the shovel, we got it on stream on Breaking 3 Efficiency 4. It's pretty nice. I definitely have to heal up the pickaxe and the other diamond shovel, so maybe we'll take a break at some point and make an anvil today, talk about that, and heal our tools up, because they definitely could use some healing, for sure. This is kind of on the way out, which is not good. We don't want to lose that pickaxe. So on the inside, so far, so good. Things are looking pretty nice. On the outside, I bet things will actually be looking even better, though. Oh, yeah, definitely. I think this outside looks really good, because look at this. I mean, seriously. So, I'd like to incorporate a new block that we haven't used quite yet on any of our builds into this build. The block is going to be sandstone, but not only sandstone, also the chiseled sandstone and cut sandstone variants. So I know what I want to do on one of those flat sides. To do that, we're going to need a little bit of staircases, not too many, and then we'll actually need some slabs as well. I think cut sandstone slabs. Usually, I like to put gigantic windows on my builds. If this build was going to be for something else, maybe like an auto smelter, these flat walls, they would have gigantic windows. But this is a storage building, and these flat walls are going to be lined with a bunch of chests. So windows are kind of out on this build for the most part. With that being said, I think I still will incorporate a window into these flat walls, but yeah, we can't really use a bunch of windows. So that means I'm going to have to use a different build trick. This time, on these flat walls, we're going to actually have to pop these things out and create a cool design, I think, to make things actually look, well, to make them actually look good. So I'm thinking that we'll use probably chiseled stone brick, or the smooth stuff, and then the chiseled stuff like that to create some sort of interesting looking, almost like a desert-inspired thing. Then on here, we could probably create some arches, because, I mean, arches are beautiful, always, so something like that, and then this can probably continue upwards. Now, over here on these sides, I'm thinking that'll probably continue upwards as well, so maybe this arch should just be like a slab arch, so it actually, you know, ends up looking like an arch. Maybe after that, we could do that and that, then this stuff could continue up a little bit more, and then, honestly, we might be good. So we'll have to jump to the inside of this build and make some chests and place them down so we know how tall we actually need this build to be. Now that window right there, that'll basically be a fake window. We'll put glass in it and, you know, we'll be able to see through it, but not from the inside, only on the outside. So we'll end up with something that looks like that, but this area right here is a problem for sure. So I'm thinking maybe, just maybe, I don't know if this will work, but it should. We could actually come in here with some stone brick stairs. I lost my other one. Let's just do this, another stone brick stair like that, and put them in this weird flat area to help, I think to help break things up. So let's say mossy in the middle, and then stone brick stair, stone brick stair. Yeah, definitely. That helps break that area up. Then maybe we could actually come in here with some sandstone walls and continue this whole support thing all the way down to the ground. So this will be on each and every flat side, probably other than the entrance. We'll do something different on the entrance, but today, just to kind of get a vision in, we'll probably end up putting one of these things on the side so we don't have a build that just basically looks unfinished. But now it's time for me to go back over to the building and get some chests. To really figure out how tall we need this build to be, we definitely need to put the chests inside of this thing. If we don't, well, then it's all really just guesswork, and we'll end up with a build that's either way too tall, like unnecessarily tall, or way too short. Now, as you can see right here, the build is already going to be it's going to be a pretty massive build. This will probably be the biggest build in our world for quite some time. So if you're here today, it's a pretty special day. You're witnessing the construction of something great. I know. How fancy. Now, one more thing. I think it would be cool to set the chests up even more inside of this building. So we're standing down low, and then we could do like maybe even staircases up to these chests, and if not, we could just do like a bench that these things are sitting on. So basically, the first row of chests is sitting at eye level. I think that would be cool. Now, right now, it's not all about getting all of the chests in. It's getting a rough vision in. So let's just go ahead and put a single row of chests in and staircases just to see how tall we need to make this build. I'm guessing that we actually might be good. Yeah, we're actually perfect as is. This is actually, yeah. This is perfect. So, the design, I think it's safe to say it worked. Let's go ahead and, I think, cap things off, maybe with another arch, because, I mean, why not, right? We can. And maybe this arch could be a little wider this time, and then behind here, we'll just put, I guess, more orange sandstone. That should be fine. So, we end up with that from the outside. Yeah, I think that's really cool. And then again, a window in there, but that top arch definitely needs some work. I should maybe some staircases in there to make that even more of an arch, because as it is right now, that's not really an arch at all. It's just not. Maybe we could just lower those. Yeah, let's just lower the side sandstone so we have that same thing again up there. So that means we end up with something that looks like that. And for a start, I think that is very, very strong. So we're good there. Now, we have a few other sides of this building to worry about. We can't really do too much depth on these round corner sides because, I mean, how would that work? That would be kind of tricky to figure out, right? So instead of doing depth, I think what we could do is basically just a randomization of blocks. I think that could make things look pretty cool. So when I say randomization, I mean we have our 3 sandstone variants, and we pretty much just go crazy and place them randomly everywhere to create something that looks really, really worn out and also detailed, but not over detailed. Always, never over detailed, of course. Now, I think something like that, yeah, that'll look actually really good, I think. So, one more final piece of this build. Then, in here where we have this weird corner, we could just carry the sandstone straight back, but that would be kind of boring. So, instead of doing that, let's go ahead and go up with acacia logs. I know, wait, who is this? Using acacia logs? That's right, it's me still, don't worry. But I think acacia logs would actually work on this build, so I think I owe these things an apology for all of the hate that I've been giving them so far in this series. They're actually pretty nice looking. Definitely, because the gray tones are brought from the bottom straight up to the top, but not in like a weird way. It's like a different gray tone. So I think that'll be the plan. And then maybe actually on these corner blocks too, we'll do acacia logs. It'll turn the build into less of a circle, I guess, from the outside, but I think that'll be okay because the gray detail going right up to the top, I think it'll be nice. But with all that being said, we definitely will need something in here to break this up because this border is still really weird. So maybe we could do like slabs. That could work, but that does kind of look a little weird. So maybe we do, I don't know, like maybe gray slabs to connect all of these gray beams. That might look a little bit better. But all of that I know is that something needs to go in there. So I think that's actually the whole build plan now, which means it's time to build like crazy and get all of these other pieces in and start getting it to be an actual building, which will be really fun. I'm actually really excited about it. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can tell, but yeah, still super excited about this, and I'm loving how this is coming together. So I think what we're going to actually do, it would probably be a good idea to do a Q&A time-lapse right here. I think we've done one in this series so far, or you know what? I don't think we've actually ever done a Q&A time-lapse. So, the Q&A time-lapse is where I go over to my Twitter and ask for questions. The questions are chosen randomly, and I answer them in the next segment, the segment that you guys are about to witness. It's pretty fun. My Twitter is at itiswaddles if you want to participate in the next one. So, slide over there, drop a follow, and now sit back and enjoy the questions while you witness this build actually get built. I hope you guys enjoy. And cue the questions in 3, 2, 1. The first question is from Maria C. Maria C is wondering if there will ever be a Bedrock Guide series. So this is something that I talked about the other day on stream quite a bit. In short, maybe one day. I was really close to actually making one, but then I opted not to. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not on team Bedrock is terrible. I actually think Bedrock has its strong points and does some things better than Java Edition. But the one thing that Bedrock doesn't do better is the biggest, most important thing to me. On Bedrock Edition, mob spawning, specifically hostile mob spawning, is kind of weird sometimes. I mean, if you guys play Bedrock, you probably have witnessed a river overloaded with drowned before. That's what I'm talking about. Now, certain mobs are easier to farm because of this weird mob spawning, but most are a whole lot harder to spawn, and that kind of deters me from that version of the game. If mob spawning, and for that matter, despawning were ever fixed, then yes, there would probably be a Bedrock Guide series. CJ asks, what is my favorite Minecraft OST song or music disc? We're gonna go with the music disc first. My favorite music disc is Ward. I think that's the creepy one that switches it up. That one's really cool. And the favorite song is that slow piano music. You know, that gets louder and louder and louder until it's really loud. Yeah, that song, whatever it's called. Bailey B asks if I ever get burnt out on Minecraft, and if I do, what games would I fall back on to keep this channel alive? And honestly, I never really get burnt out of Minecraft, so that's not something that I really ever think about. If it happens, well, yikes. I'm not too sure. That's a good question. Comrade Dog asks if I will ever stream other games. The answer to that one? Probably. I've talked about it a little bit, and I don't know, it sounds really fun. I'd love to stream Terraria or Stardew Valley or maybe even something else. Lampy asks the great question that I seem to get always, and it is, how old am I and where am I from? I'm from the USA and I'm 23. A lot of people seem to be shocked by that, but yep, 23. I just turned 23 less than a month ago. Pretty cool. The Bearded Blunder is wondering what my favorite biome to start in a Minecraft world is, and I would probably usually prefer a biome that is rare. So maybe the mesa, maybe the jungle, maybe, I don't know, like an ice spikes biome, because then you have this rare biome right off the bat. Now, usually I don't actually get that lucky, and I end up in like a plains biome, like in this season or the last one. But yeah, ideally, I'd love to start in some sort of rare biome and then wander over to a plains so I can build my city there. Pierre T asks if there will be more exploration episodes soon. Honestly, probably not, unfortunately, exploration fans, I'm sorry. I do really like exploration episodes, and usually when I ask the question about exploration episodes, I get a pretty mixed result. Some people seem to love them, others seem to hate them. Since we have done 2 exploration episodes recently, I'll probably wait to do another one for a little while. But with that being said, I'm sure there'll be another one eventually because they are really fun to make. I'm leaning more towards an exploration stream, though, actually. And finally, New Year Gamester asks if the series will last until the Nether update, and right now, that is definitely the plan. But it does definitely depend on when the Nether update actually releases, but hopefully. I do plan on having this go until the Nether update. But I think that's going to cut it for the questions today. So thank you everybody for asking questions, whether they were answered or not. If you'd like a chance to be featured in the next one, make sure you drop a follow on my Twitter at itiswaddles. Now, let's jump back into the build. Okay, so the build has been progressed. I hope you guys enjoyed that Q&A time lapse. Those are always fun. Should definitely do those more, but the build. So, this is where we're at now. The whole side wall is in, and I think it looks pretty nice. I didn't put the windows in quite yet, and I didn't finish off the top of the wall. That's what we're about to do. But first, breaking up this weird flat area is going to be tricky, actually. I really don't know how to do it. I'm trying a few different things. I wanted to show them off here. Over here, I'm doing slabs. Over there, I'm doing walls. I think the walls definitely look worse than the slabs, but I still don't really love the slabs either. I was even thinking maybe we could do some sandstone walls going up, but seeing as we're doing slabs on the top half of a block, the walls won't connect all the way, but then again, I don't think that's really a problem. It gives a nice little angle to the build, but I don't know, I'm just really not sure. I was thinking maybe cobblestone walls because they're kind of a nice in between stone bricks and acacia logs, but not too sure. I think if we're going to do anything, we're probably going to do that. I was trying to make these walls look like maybe they're inside of the acacia logs and then they go over and go inside of the wall and then come out of the wall and then again go over to the logs. But yeah, I don't know. Even taking that one out it just doesn't look very good. So I think what we'll do is we'll do the slab idea that I showcased that was on the left, and if not, we'll just put a bunch of bushes around the thing. Like maybe a bunch of plants will help it. I'm really not too sure. But now we're actually on to the final stage of this build. Well, kind of. We're almost to the final stage of the build. Or, well, I guess more of the final stage of the shell of the build. So, this build needs a roof. I hinted at it in the last episode, but I basically think it would be really, really cool to actually see a glass dome on this build. I really think that's the best way to cap this thing off. Now, by the way, I did make some minor changes to these arches. If you didn't notice, I'll give you a good shot of them when we jump back down off of this build, but the top. So, I'm thinking that we can start ending this build by kind of wrapping these acacia logs in, so it almost looks like they wrap around and go behind this wall or something, then the rest of the build. So I think the best way to finish this off might be to raise this all up one layer, and then after that, I kind of don't know. Maybe we could go ahead and go in one with even more acacia logs and go all the way around this build. Only problem here is going to be the orange end. So I think what we're going to have to do is craft a bunch of these things right here, the acacia wood blocks, because I don't really want the orange end showing on the top. I think that would look really, really bad. It wouldn't look very good at all. These orange ends, though, those are fine. I could maybe even put either sandstone walls or maybe acacia fences in there to match the orange. But up here, we definitely don't want any orange showing. So that means even over here, that's going to have to change to that. Now, on these corner areas, I'm really not too sure. Maybe we just do an acacia log that kind of goes like that, up and down. That might be the best way to end that. And then over here, honestly, this could stay lower, maybe? Maybe? I'm really not too sure. I'm kind of winging it at this point and just hoping that this will work out, but I definitely do know that the acacia logs over here should wrap around like that. That'll look really good, I think. Now, this is going to be intensive when it comes to logs. This will require a lot of logs, and I don't even know how this will look from the inside. We might need to double up on all of these log blocks and change these too, but for now, I'm just going to skip it. And we'll see. If it looks really bad from the inside, we'll change it. We'll do all of this. We do lose one log, though, so it's kind of expensive. But I have been farming the trees a little bit, so I guess there's that. It's not all bad at all. But wait, hold on a minute. What was I doing over here? That would be showing the orange there. That's not very good. You know what we could do, actually, though? We could take more slabs and go up like that. That would solve that problem amazingly. Let's go ahead and finish this one side and see what we think. Alright, so one side, check. Let's take a step back and look at it. Now keep in mind that the entrance will still be different, so we don't get a full look at the build, but oh, yeah, definitely. I think that looks really good. It looks like it's being rounded in with these logs ending there like that. We're not going to change that at all. The only thing we might add is the acacia fences in there. That might look really good, but definitely, this build is looking pretty grand, if I do say so myself. Yeah, for sure. I really like that. By the way, take a look at the top of those orange areas. The arch is slightly different. I made blocks, like solid blocks there, but for sure, 100%. Now I need to go get those blocks that are laying on the floor on the inside before they despawn, but this is definitely going to be the plan. I think this is turning out really, really nicely. The only thing is these weird borders. We'll have to figure that out, but wow. Yes, I do like it. And the orange on the inside, honestly, it's not much of a problem, because this orange will peek through behind these chests a little bit, so maybe we just leave it. And I should also probably fill in these areas over here just to make things look a little bit more finished. I think that would probably be good, because otherwise we're gonna have to put something else there, and I'd rather not use more acacia logs on that part, because the logs are expensive. Terracotta, that's not that expensive. I have a lot of this stuff, so we're gonna just fill that in there. But I think now it's time to get the rest of this acacia log border on, because I'm loving it. Gotta say, it's a good thing that we got more sandstone than what I was thinking last episode, because I am running out of this stuff, like, big time, and going to harvest more sandstone, that would kind of be annoying, because it's not really, well, I guess it is close. I mean, the desert's right there, but it's not as easy as farming more logs. Definitely not. Alright, so the whole top cap thing is on, and I've got all of those slab side things down low on now. I think the build looks good. Now, the grand finale, the final part, the coolest part of the build, in my opinion, is going to be the top, or again, the coolest part of the outside of the build. So, up here, I think we absolutely need a gigantic glass dome to make things really cool and grand feeling. Now, thankfully, your guy here does know quite a bit about dome making, so this should be a pretty easy process for me. The only thing that I kind of am unsure about is how tall should the dome be to start. I'm thinking it should probably only be 1 block tall, so like something like that, but the other option is going 2 blocks up and making sure the dome is really tall. This would give the build more of a, I guess, like a US Capitol building feel. You know how the dome is like kind of really tall? The other one would give it more of a, I guess, a flattened dome. So we won't be able to see much from here, but what do we think? Okay, so that would be pretty tall. That would be a really tall dome. What about this one over here? Does this one fit the build a little bit more? I'm thinking that might fit the build more. Like a smaller dome? I mean, it's already pretty tall, right? Yeah, let's I think I'm gonna go with that smaller dome. I think that'll look better. So that's the final plan. Then the inside. I don't know if we're gonna worry about that today or how I'm gonna do that. The episode should be kind of getting long at this point, so I'm not too sure, but it's dome time. By the way, the dome will just sit right on top of these acacia logs up there, because the acacia logs, to me, sort of look like they are, like, holding the dome, right? So I think that's fine. And so, a little bit of trial and error, a little bit of time later, and we have a fully finished, fully good-looking dome on the top of our build behind us. I think it is pretty much perfect. Now, because we have things go in a little bit, I don't know if we're really working with a perfect circle anymore, but I'd say the dome looks pretty dome-y. Now, the texture is kind of weird because the connected glass is not a thing without Optifine, but once we get connected glass inside of this thing, I think this will look really sweet. Now, the final part of today's build that we're going to try and power through. We need the inside to look good. So, what I'm thinking is the places where we put our item frames, so these things will be spruce staircases. I think that'll look good inside of here with all of these sand tones. And then chests, basically alternating rows. Now, I think on this first row of chests, since we'll be able to see right into there, I'll put slabs back here to make sure we can't see this weird border. And then the window, that'll maybe become orange stained glass panes. Maybe that's kind of what I'm thinking right now, but I am not 100% sure on that. Now, we will be doing the staircases facing downwards like that, so we can't really see into them. And if I kind of start to realize, which this might already be the case, but we might be able to see in above the second row of chests as well. I'm not too sure, but if that does happen, we'll put slabs there too, so I can't see like basically a bunch of floating chests. Down here, down low, I'm thinking even more spruce, but this time below the chest we'll just do solid blocks like this to kind of fully hold things up, and then maybe more staircases. But I'm thinking about maybe changing the front row just to add a little bit of detail to spruce logs. Not 100% sure though, because I don't want to incorporate too many colors into this build, so I am just really not too sure. We actually might be able to add a fourth chest layer above all of these, but honestly, I don't know if I'll be able to reach it, so on top of all this, we might just kind of do some slabs and have like a bit of a shelf. Maybe we could put like banners up there, something cool like that from all of the patrols, but I think that's pretty much the whole build. And one more thing actually. So we're going to have chests going around over here, and then in this corner, because of how the double chest will come out, I think what we'll just do is an acacia beam going all the way up to kind of match that top work area. But now I'm going to go ahead and turn this build into something that looks a little bit better. Don't know if I'll finish all of the chests today, but that is definitely the plan. So wish me luck. When we're back, we'll have something that has a bunch of chests inside of this place. I don't think you guys really need to see it or see me place a bunch of chests, so you're probably not missing out on too much, but wish me luck. I'll be back soon. Alright, welcome back everybody. It's been quite a bit of time, and the build is progressing really nicely. So, here's what we got right now. A big room, lots of chests, and no floor. So first, let's actually talk about the floor. Now, I think the floor in here should probably be a mixture of sandstone, because the sandstone looks really good, a tiny bit of birch wood, because the colors blend really nicely, and then, finally, the standout block, I think, on the floor this time is going to be yellow terracotta. So, on these windows, I went with yellow stained glass to add a bit of color. I was thinking maybe like dark gray at first, but then I was like, yeah, you know, this is meant to be a fancy, cool build, not like a kind of a gloomy build, so I decided to skip that. Now on the floor, I think random bits of yellow terracotta, just single blocks sprinkled in kind of randomly, would look really good in here. I think it would bring like a nice touch of color into this build, even though we don't really need a touch of color. The item frames with all of the items inside of them will bring a lot of color into the build. Now, I'm not 100% sold on the floor design quite yet. I think I'll need to see it actually in to be convinced, because the yellow does stand out quite a bit. It might be too much, but I think for now at least, it should look good. Eventually, I'm actually planning on maybe adding a basement to this building, and if we do that, then a glass floor will be in here instead, because I think that would be really cool. Now, I did decide to go ahead and put slabs everywhere so things look nice and solid, and then up top, I did a simple arch, and then lots of fences to tie things in. I think the orange actually is a really nice touch of color up there, and it is because of all of the orange up there that I almost thought about putting orange on the floor, but I think it might kind of start to get to a point where there's too much orange, so I decided to switch things up and not do orange on the floor. Now, somewhat unfortunately, we won't actually be moving any items into this build today. I'd like to make sure we get all of the item frames in, all of the chests in, everything like that before we actually start putting things in here. Also, we kind of need a door on the build, because remember, that's the whole open concept. It's nice, but that's not what we're really going for this time, so there's quite a bit more work that actually needs to get done before we start moving things into here, but it won't be too long before we actually officially move everything into here. Now, one thing that I did mention that I was going to do that I kind of skipped out on is the staircases down here. I thought about doing staircases so we could kind of step up and it would wrap the room upwards, but I think it actually looks better without the staircases. I really do actually like this intense line along the bottom of the room. It looks like molding, so I think I'm going to keep that, but I'm going to go ahead and get the floor in, and then that will actually just about be it for today, I think. So, what do we think? I don't know. I'm not 100% sold. Maybe these birch planks need to go away, but this is where I'm actually going to ask you guys for some feedback. What do you think? Do we remove the birch and leave the yellow? I think the terracotta and the sandstone mix really well, but the birch, should it stay? Should it go? And if it goes, what do I replace it with? Help me out. There'll be a poll on screen, so vote on the birch stuff, but if you have a good block idea, ideally something that I have right now, like maybe even plain terracotta or something, definitely let me know. But just know that the other sandstone variants are not an option because they are identical. Maybe the smooth sandstone is, I'm not sure, I'd have to check, but just other sandstone variants, that wouldn't work. They look exactly the same from the top. But actually, now that I think about it, hold on. One thing that actually could work in here, and I definitely want to know what you guys think about it, is this. Upside down staircases. I actually think that might be the way to go. Upside down sandstone staircases, so then we get cracked sandstone in here too. Ooh. Oh boy. Definitely vote, but I think I love that. I don't know. Now, we're not entirely finished with the build, but we're just about there for today. There is one final thing, though, that I would like to mention, and that is, of course, the centerpiece of this room. As it stands right now, even though the room isn't finished, we still don't have a crafting area. The crafting area this time will be right in the middle of this room, actually. I'm thinking about doing maybe like a crafting table, and then furnaces all around it, even though we'll actually have a better smelting area somewhere else. And then on these corners, other crafting blocks, so like a stone cutter, maybe a cartography table, don't know about that. Probably another stone cutter over here, but yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. And again, we'll make a better smelting area somewhere else. But for now, just to put something in here, we'll do a bunch of placeholder stone cutters. I think that looks good. That's okay, but the floor definitely needs some work. And the chests, I need a lot more chests. Or actually, do we? Thank you all very much for watching episode 18 of the Minecraft Guide. My name is Waddles. Today, I'd like to send a big thank you to my patron, HX61. Thank you very much for the support, and again, thank you all for watching. All of the links are down in the description, the merch is below the video, and the Twitch is twitch.tv/Waddles. I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye, everybody.